And here we are. Welcome into Stonk Out Society. It's your host, The Buff, here with his boy, The Goat. And we are just reacting, really. Like, we've just finished up. Week 3 is in the books as of half an hour.
Yeah.
We're collecting ourselves before we go again and get ready for week 4. So, Goat, how are you, my man? You away last week, Crook? How's it feeling?
Spent the whole week on IR, but I'm back now. I'm back. The flu got me pretty bad, but look, thanks to the boys for stepping in. I love seeing all my boys eat, and I'm feeling good today, ready to be on. And happy birthday to our friend Ben. He's celebrating away at the moment, so yeah.
He's enjoying some delicious ramen, bit of sushi over in Nihongo, over in Japan.
I'm sure he is.
Alrighty, so absolutely fantastic to have you back on, man. And I guess looking at the weekend and some key takeaways from week 2. I know I've got a couple, but where would you start? Just looking at like a bit of rapid fire reaction from the weekend.
Oh, look, we'll start with today because that's the most present. I guess today we saw a good game between a couple teams that should be there and who people tipped to be playing off against each other potentially. Both high offensive, teams. And I think we had Hutchinson back and, it helped that team get 7 sacks or something. Was that on Lamar today?
Yeah, might even be more, to be honest.
Might even be more.
They came up clutch, absolutely clutch.
Yeah,
you keep going while I check those figures. I just want to double check that
I think we saw some really good teams just battle it out. And obviously, we're starting to see the league sort of shape a little bit in terms of the teams who were going to be there near the end. Obviously, the Colts, another win, so I'm really happy about that. They could be the real deal. I think they've got the Rams this week, so I'm looking forward to that. And other than that, like in a quick instance, we've seen a lot of injuries too. Another Achilles injury, unfortunately, for Najee. He's gone down, so it looks like he'll be done.
One out for him.
Yeah, pour one out for Najee.
Yeah, and we've seen the great man JC go down too, and we'll definitely get to that in the medical tent. I think couple of my key takeaways were just the Chiefs survive for now, and it's going to be amazing to see them play against the Ravens next week, knowing one of them goes to 1-3. Jake Browning's not the answer.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the answer, and I think the Bengals need to try a trade for Jabu or something. They just need to do something. Yeah, as you said, the Colts are on, but I think Tampa Bay are the real deal. Hence why I'm wearing the jersey. Baker is a dog.
Certainly is. It certainly is.
Did you see that comment he made? He came out in the press conference and he was like, Todd Bowles' old team, obviously being New York Jets. And he's saying like, he was asked a question about like whether it felt personal to win for Todd.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, yeah, like it is. But also their D coordinator cut me to Carolina. So everything was personal today.
Yeah. Wow. No, I didn't see that. Now he's looking real good. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I'll rapid fire through these injuries, and you obviously mentioned one of them, and maybe we'll just start with that. But Najee Harris gone down, Achilles, season ender, drop him in redraft, IR in Dynasty. But look, to be honest, it's not looking good. I wouldn't expect massive things for him coming back. James Conner, ankle, season's over. Hopefully it's not career over, depending on how severe that is. Upgrade Benson and Demarcado. Mike Evans, hamstring, could miss a significant amount of time, missed a fair bit of time last year, and it sucks because that proves Stevie right. McBruker and Shepard should step up. Godwin back soon. Mac Jones. And this is an interesting one because he's aggravated his PCL, but Brock Purdy looks like he almost was able to play on the weekend. So if Mac Jones misses, Brock Purdy should hopefully be able to come back. And another one
very close.
Very close. Another couple for San Fran were Juwan Jennings, shoulder and ankle. That's a monitor throughout the week. Nick Bosa, ACL out for the season. So the San Fran DST, in terms of their ability to get pressure and get hits and sacks, might be a little bit diminished. Charbonnet, foot. So continue to upgrade. Kenneth, Alec Pierce concussion protocol, monitor that one throughout the week. Jaden Daniels day to day, monitor him. CD Land, high ankle sprain, 1 to 5 weeks potential. It's like, so it could be a 3 to 5 or it could be 1 to 2, but they're sort of saying it's probably more on the severe side. So upgrade Pickens, Ferguson, Talbot, and Tyrone Tracy shoulder dislocation for New York Giants. So that's most, if not all, the fantasy relevant injuries. Or Noah Fant was the one I missed. He was concussion and he'll be out, but he's just been dog shit anyway. So don't worry about him. What are your reactions to those? To what are the key ones that stand out to you? Those injuries.
Look, to me, I think the big one there is CD. Like, you still got to wait and see whether that's a high ankle sprain or when the MRI comes back, if he's going to be able to play through it. If he can, then you roll him out there regardless. But the one for me is we're still waiting to see from Mike Evans whether that is that's going to be a high hamstring or it's going to be a low grade. Either way, he's going to miss some time, so that will hurt the Bucks a little bit.
Yeah.
And obviously, Igbuka's going to get some targets, but try and get your hands on some other receivers there. That be Sterling Shepard, who has stepped into a role. But look, if you have those handcuff running backs, then you're sitting there laughing. Because I think there's been a couple big wins for you at the moment. And all those, zero RB builds in redraft will be sitting there laughing at the moment because it's just been mayhem so far this year.
100%. No, like guys that are sitting there and they just be stashing guys and just grabbing them. Just it was just by chance. Obviously, scattered. Like I had a league in our redraft ponies league and was able to start Scatterbo thinking he'll get a couple carries, and then Tyrone Tracy goes down and he absolutely went off and scored 24 points in a PPR league. Like that's your match winning plays, and that's what we keep saying about every week. Is like you want league winning upside on your bench. There's no point having a second QB, for instance, if you've got a pretty cruddy QBs. That's not going to give you a league winning upside. Like upgrading 6 points, like what you're looking for is trying to double your point output in your flex position if possible. I guess that probably segues pretty well into the Stonk Exchange and big risers, big fallers. So let you kick us off, mate. Like, who are your biggest Stonk risers in coming out of week 3?
Unfortunately, a lot of these Stonk risers, probably touching on, have come through injury. And the first one for me is Amarian Hampton. He is going to, regardless of whether he's going to have a big week or not, he's going to get all of the work, or most of the work, even if that means in third down cashing situations. So, if you were one of those that drafted Amarion and you've been disappointed with his start to the season, he had a big week this week, but just temper those expectations because we know what Chargers want to do. But it is a win for you with Najee going down.
Yeah.
So he's my first Stonk riser.
Yeah. I'll give us our next Stonk riser because I completely agree with that one. This one isn't because of injury. This one's actually, and we spoke about it in the preseason, about the uncertainty about whether he was even going to be playing in the NFL this year with, certain investigations. Quinshon Judkins on the weekend, his line, 18 carries, 94 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
Had 1 for 2, like 1 catch off 2 targets. It was only 1 yard, but it's still a point PPR. Backfield's clearly his now. Like, I just don't see it being relinquished. He's come in. He had he split some carries last week, but he looked good with his carries. And then this week, he's clearly put a stamp on that against a good defense too in Green Bay. So that's my biggest Stonk riser this week.
Yep. Another one for me would be a Trey Benson, which we'll touch on in the waivers later. But James Conner has announced that he's out for the rest of the year with an ankle. Probably requires surgery. Trey Benson's going to get a big carry, a big opportunity there for him to prove that he can step into that role.
Yeah.
AZ could have been 3-0, but just got pipped at the end, probably. So, he's another Stonk riser for me.
I think as well, like Amari Mercado didn't look that great when he was out in the field. And I think that just further solidifies that it's really going to be Benson's going to be lent on heavily for the rest of the year. So,
And it's opportunity. And I mean, it's the same thing that goes for, Tron's man Scatterbo.
Yeah.
If Tracy's missing big time, then
Yeah.
he has looked better than
Yeah.
Tracy anyway. But Tracy was still getting catches. He was down in on like crucial third downs. He was still getting carries. But now Scatterbo looks like he's going to take over that backfield. Again, are they going to be on the field a lot because they're the Giants? Maybe
Yeah.
not. But still, he's going to get a lot of carries. So if you got him, then you start him.
Yeah. And if he's somehow still out there, and we'll talk about waivers soon, you go and get him because 10 carries, 60 yards, 1 touchdown, 6 for 8 catches. So six catches off 8 targets for 61 yards. So it's that dual threat upside that we're speaking about that you touched on just before. Tracy was out there taking those catches, but PPR, like, catches are absolute gold. You want to mine them as much as you can. So definitely a stonk riser in my book. Who else have you got for us, Goat? Like, looking at some of the other positions as well.
I've got a couple receivers there. For me, you've got Igbuka will step into a bigger role. They're going to lean on him heavily, which is funnily enough, as the rookie coming into the league, he's looked fantastic. Just hasn't made a mistake.
Unreal.
And that's what they said coming out of camp, is that he's just a veteran in the way he goes about his football. He just doesn't make mistakes. He
100%.
does everything right. He blocks. He positions himself well. He looks like a start, and I think he'll get some more targets there. Pickens, I think if CD misses time, stonks up. They love to throw the ball. Same goes for Ferguson.
Yeah.
But the one that I want to talk about is Jackson Smith and Jigba. He had a game of less than 50% snap share and had nearly another 100 yards. I don't know if it's that team, the way they're going about it, but Jackson Smith and Jigba started to come into it towards the end of the year. But he's starting to look like a bona fide stud and someone who I probably thought was a really good player. But, even yourself and Tron were big believers, I guess, this year for him coming into the year. And I kind of, with Cup coming on board and Darnold, I got to put my hand up because Darnold's just doing it again. So
he's doing it again, man. He's
the Seahawks look dangerous.
Yeah. They looked really, really good on the weekend, and obviously watching them against Pitt last week, they did it again. Didn't get the win in week 1, but they definitely look dangerous, and JSN's a big reason for that too. Like, obviously teams have to respect the ground game because we know that Charbonnet's out injured at the moment. You got that dual horse sort of running back that you've got there with Sharp and Kenneth, but Kenneth at the moment is doing a good enough job by himself, supplemented by those other guys. And you still have these other guys that are popping up and eating. Like, you've got Horton that's come out of nowhere, like his rookie.
Yeah.
Rookie? Yes, rookie.
Yeah, loves a who's a rookie.
Yeah. But yeah, Darnold is doing it again. He's just proving the doubters wrong. It just shows you, like, if you put the right belief into someone, you put the right system around them, and, like, you can see so many of these situations around the league, right? Like, even we've spoken about Baker that many times. Put the right belief and the right system around someone, they can succeed. It has to be the right, like, you've got to give them the right tools to succeed. And I think, like, Darnold's unreal, and they've set JSN up for success. And I think, like, obviously they jettisoned Metcalf to Pittsburgh, but it's definitely, he's stepped into the elite this year. He has. He's arguably top 6 wide receiver, top 5 wide receiver.
He could win the receiving yards at the end of the year. Yeah. That's where he's at.
Yeah. No, completely with you.
Yeah.
Who else do you have for us on the?
I think I want to take us away from the receivers and running backs, and I want to look at Caleb Williams. I think you got to give him his props. You got to give the Bears their props. Yes, they played the Cowboys. I'm not going off on the Bears. I'm just saying, if you look at through those 3 games, and you know that we love to watch those games, Caleb has actually looked really good. And you would argue that game, they don't win that without him playing like that. No. And he, again, in college, could have been anything, said he was going to be everything, had a bad last year in college, then came into the league with all, that stuff all the going baggage.
On. Yeah.
But if he fills out his potential, he can be anything.
100%.
So I've got to give him his props. Our man Caleb. He's a stonks riser for me.
Last week or the week before, I can't remember which episode it was, but we were speaking about it. It was on the Manning cast where that Peyton and Eli were running through like what he actually has to do with Ben Johnson's offense pre-snap, and it is insane. So I definitely think that like the scary thing is for the league is like it probably continues to improve from here as he gets more acclimated to that offense. 100%. Do you have any more stonk rises for us before we move into the free falls?
Well, look, there's plenty, but for me, I think I like to get us off the stonks down.
Yeah, you go for it, man.
And before we get into this, I don't like doing this. And we had some comments throughout the last however many weeks that this is what I like to do. This isn't what I like. I don't like to shoot down anyone. And just to prove it, my first one is RJ Harvey. And I'm not saying in terms of I think he's a bad player. I just think the way that offense is going at the moment, Dobbins is clearly going to be the guy.
Yeah. Dobby Wobby.
Yeah. And look, RJ's the better pass catcher there, and that's obvious. But it just doesn't look like that's where they want to go, or it doesn't look like they're rolling on all cylinders at the moment. And until we see that, you can't start RJ Harvey with any confidence.
100%. No, he's definitely been sitting there on my bench in a couple of leagues, and he won't be going into the starting lineup. Might just get you to go through the next one. Go quickly.
No, that's fine.
Switch something on in the wall.
Nah, switch it on.
Technical difficulties.
That's fine because I'll repeat myself, and I saw a lot of this on for those who love Twitter. Pacheco, please just let him go. I think Pacheco is done for now. I think Kareem Hunt, while he's there, is going to be the guy. Please don't start Pacheco. Please don't let Pacheco get going. Pacheco coming into this week was the 47th running back in the league. So please, I spoke about it already. Let him go. It's over. It's over. It's over.
And it absolutely hurts so much.
And I don't like doing it, but
nah,
he's gone.
He's given us good memories, but it's finished. He loves a
hezzy. Yeah, but I'm sorry, he's gone.
All right, I got one for us. Sorry, I'm just preempting some of the reactions I'm going to get. Because I was told that I was wrong because I didn't believe, and I didn't believe in Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Man. If you look at his line, he's only saved by a touchdown, and I think the thing with him was Rodriguez was the first running back to touch the field. He was the one getting the majority of carries, and McNichols was the receiving back who broke off on a big play, and rightfully so will be on the field because he is a good receiving back. He's a great third down back, I think, as a complementary style third down running back. So Stonk's down for me on Bill Krosky-Merritt because I think that it could be over for the time being. Like, he was projected to have a big role. Didn't turn out that way.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Bill.
No, Like, I think, it's
still early doors. Let's remember that. It's still early doors, but I can see it. I can
just see people getting too carried away with it again. It's just like, temper your expectations. He's not a stud. He's not a stud. I'm not a believer. I don't have him anyway. I'm not a believer, man. But like, I'd put my hand up if he came out and had a big, like, that was the opportunity for him to have a performance, and he didn't. So the one bloke that, like, I've been quite bullish on the last few weeks, and he got himself into some good positions on the weekend, but Stonk's down on Ramondre Stevenson. And the reason why is 2 lost fumbles when you have a stud young buck coming through like Travion Henderson. You are putting your playing time at risk. You're putting your career at risk. And they weren't just lost fumbles. They were lost fumbles at the goal line that cost the Patriots the game against my beloved Steelers, thank God. But yeah, I'm going to go Stonks down for the time being on Ramondre Stevenson because I think we'll start to see the carries go the other way. That's a bit of a bold take there.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's fair enough. For me, look, I don't like doing this. And again, I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's not a dynasty monster. Am I saying that his stonks are down? Yeah. Yeah, they're down. The first one, there's a couple receivers, and I'll start with the first one. His name is Neighbours. I think you can quite clearly see what his weeks are going to look like. They're either going to be enormous or they're going to be very low. And having Russell as his QB, you just have to temper expectations and stomps down a little bit.
No, I
And
agree.
don't go out there and start selling him for a second. Just hold him tap and in redraft, just temper your expectations a little bit. The other one, my second one, is Lad McConkey. Again, hold on to him. Do not sell him in Dynasty. He's a great buy in Dynasty.
Yeah.
But in redraft, I think if you took him towards the late second round, you'd be really disappointed, which I did everywhere because I was a big believer. And I wasn't too worried with Keenan, but now I'm worried. I'm a little worried because Keenan it's third down Keenan. Third down in Keenan, as our man said.
Yeah.
And it's not that the targets aren't there for McConkey, it's the average depth of targets. If you look at where he's getting in, it's required for him to go and just sit. So he gets up and he sits and he gets those targets. Whereas he's not getting end zone targets. He's not getting any of the crucial targets.
No.
For me, his games are going to look like 5 and 50 probably majority of the time, and you take your 10 points every time. Stonks down. If you took him in the second round, you'd be a little bit disappointed.
Big time. Because I think, like, as you said, like, and on the weekend, there would have been times where he had Surtain sitting on him and, like, he's playing his role. He's doing what he needs to do and he's taking the best cover corner. But, yeah, QJ looks great and Keenan looks great. So, like, it's just going to be one of those things. He'll get his 10 points, which is great. If you had to take him in the fourth or the fifth, you'd be stoked. But if you took him in the second round, you need 15 to 20.
Yeah,
that's what you need to get from him.
Yeah.
Anyone else you got for us, my man?
One more that I've got for you, and that is Chase Brown.
Yeah.
I saw you boys talk about Chase Brown and talk about the Bengals.
Yeah.
In all honesty,
yeah,
I still think that they'll be okay, but I just don't think you're going to get that overconfidence now that Joe can hit those little ones to Chase, because what they probably need now is someone who's going to come in and actually block and help that O-line. So Chase isn't going to be able to wheel out and get those little ones that Joe likes to do and has confidence in throwing. So again, like drafting him in the second round, you'd be a little bit disappointed with what you're seeing. Hopefully Bengals can go out there and actually, get it back together, get it rolling, maybe go and find or inquire about a Kirk Cousins, or I don't know who they inquire about. You've got a Jaboo or
I think maybe Jameis would be a good fit, I feel like, because I feel like he's, like you just see everything. It's just like such classic, like social media, but kind of what I can kind of see how it would work is you think back to old Tampa and even like the Cleveland last year, Cleveland, where he led the Browns to a win over my boys.
He did.
Absolutely balled out. Like maybe they just need someone that can just sort of improvise. And because I don't think Kirk Cousins is that. I feel like Kirk Cousins is standing in the pocket. Well, we see what happens when Joe Burrow stands in the pocket. That O-line can't block for shit.
Yeah.
So maybe just bringing in a Jabu and just saying, just let it rip to Jamar. And just like, we're going to try to put up 50 points. We might give up 40, but we're going to try to put up 50.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know.
Well, who have they got coming up?
Let me look at that.
They've got the Broncos coming up, and that's not any easier. So, you're looking at that game. Joe Burrow's out for 3 months. I don't know what they're going to do. They can either stick with Browning and keep trying to get those wins, but for me, it's looking tough.
It is going to be tough.
I think T. Higgins and Jamar will be fine in some games because they're going to have to throw the ball. But yeah, Chase Brown stonks down for me.
Their next 4 games are atrocious.
Who have they got?
Denver,
Yep.
Detroit. So
Yeah.
sorry, and as you said, Denver's tough, but they're playing at Denver. That's a completely
Yeah.
different ball game to playing them at home. Like it's at altitude. Then they're at home to Detroit. Then they're at Lambeau against the Packers. Then they are at home to the Steelers. Like that's tough. Then they have the Jets, and the Jets are improved, and then they have Chicago on the bye.
Yeah. Look, it's not good. And our man Stevie, he's a passionate Bengals man. He's been asking for Taylor's head for a long time, but I don't think there's anything he can do with
Nothing.
what he has. That offensive line is atrocious, and they need to do something with it in the off season.
Yeah. Even looking at their, like, this is just a general football discussion about the Bengals. After they come back from the bye, they then play in Pittsburgh, but then like before that, between then and the end of the year, they've got to play at Buffalo, which will probably be snowing, and they've got 2 games against Baltimore.
2
after the bye, because they haven't played Baltimore yet to start the year.
Boy.
So like they could get into the bye. Let's say maybe they're a chance. They could beat Pittsburgh. I don't see them beating Denver, Detroit, Green Bay. They could beat the Jets. They could beat Chicago. So maybe they pinch 2 or 3 more. But after the bye, like there's some games there that they can win. Arizona, New England. They've got Miami. But like playing against those are like Buffalo, 2 games against Baltimore.
Yeah.
Miami and Pittsburgh. And even Cleveland. They look shit house against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's alarm bells are ringing. But
Yeah,
as you
tough.
said, they're not gonna fire Zach Taylor because he's got no reason to, like, you know, if they had Joe Burrow and they went through and won 4 games, then you'd get sacked.
Yep. Yeah. Wow.
On the topic of that, before we get into waiver wire,
Mhm.
is it still the obvious one for you in terms of first coach that gets sacked from the NFL?
Who's that?
McDaniel?
I think.
Or is it Daboll?
No, I think McDaniel is probably close to getting fired. But
Yeah.
if we want to talk about the Dolphins in the essence of what they're doing, they looked better and they played really well against the Bills. But
showed some fight.
They did, and they came out and they played for McDaniels. But I just don't know what they're doing offensively, and I don't know whether it's Tua or whether it's McDaniels, probably a bit of both, or the offensive play calling. But they are slowly destroying Devin Achan's career because they're just like giving him runs and throwing little dinks to him constantly, and he's getting smashed. And
he's getting lit up.
That's not the way to use him. He's a big play machine, and I don't know what they're going to do moving forward.
Yeah.
Realistically. And I think they need to invest in another offensive coordinator to come in and change things a little bit next year. But I think they won't have to wait because McDaniel will be done.
He'll be finished.
Yeah.
I think he's first coach gone.
Yeah.
I think Daboll could be in trouble if they don't start, or they don't start Dart, or they don't see some sort of improvement over in New York.
Yeah.
They're probably the 2 that I'm looking at the most.
But it doesn't take much to turn teams around. Like, I think look at the Colts for an example, is that we knew that we had a really good defensive team.
Yeah.
They've gone out there and actually pinched, someone who,
it's the most absurd thing in the world. If you had a thought about like how we're talking about Daniel Jones and the Colts, like, and I know because you're even on this pod talking about it.
Yeah. Look, if we look at, they went out there and pinched Lou because they know that's how they wanted to play. They wanted to try and win games with their defense. Yeah. And they have some studs there. Yeah. And they went out and got Ward, and Latu's another second-year player who looks really good. But that can change a team even, like going out there and changing an identity or a philosophy.
Yeah.
Dimes has come in, yes, and he looks incredible, and I don't understand it. But they've got weapons everywhere, and when you've got a really good offensive line, and you've got a really, like, people forget how good Jonathan Taylor actually is. He was in the MVP discussions a few years ago.
He was.
And he's back to that, and that offensive line is incredible. And then if he's not running the ball, you've got Tyler Warren, who, did you see some of his blocks on the weekend? Not just like, he's How did the Bears take Loveland over him? Yeah,
He's like
a
he's like
proper tight end, isn't he? Just
a young Kittle. Like
yeah,
loves like does it all. Like
loves
not
it.
doesn't shirk the shit. Like
Yeah,
like I know like Kelsey's like he's amazing, but I feel like if you think about
Kittle's a good comparison.
best all round tight end in the league would be Kittle. And I think he has been for a long time because he just does everything and he wants to do everything really well. And I think that if you've got the next Kittle on your hands, like it sets you up for so much success.
Yeah,
Laporta's good too. Like there's some plays
absolutely.
today where he blocked, but he's not quite that level.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love to see a tight end just get in there and just block. Or a wide receiver just get in there, just lay a big block.
Yeah. I just love seeing the Colts at the moment, mate. Just Downs is getting healthier, Pittman's getting healthier.
Pittman's been good.
Game against the Rams this week, I believe.
I don't know if I pick you. We'll talk about this later in the week. But I'm really tossing up who I pick in this game.
Yeah, we'll cover that later in the week.
Yeah,
but I'm liking it.
100%.
We should get into our waivers because there's a people out there who are wanting to know what to do. And a lot of people's waivers run tomorrow. And there's some key names there.
100%. Do you want to lead off with running backs or wide receivers? Who are we going first?
Let's go running backs because we covered a few. But the first one that, if he's there, and this probably goes into our bigger point, and we were discussing that a little bit off air.
Yeah,
is handcuffs, and this is the reason why we get handcuffs in redraft, especially if you're zero RB builds. Is because what we've seen this weekend can happen.
Yeah,
and so now guys like Hampton, Benson. Algier is another one who we'll talk about. You've got there Ollie Gordon, Rodriguez, Blake Corum. They're all handcuffs that if the main guy goes down, you've got yourself an RB1.
Yeah.
So look at Jordan Mason. Everyone was really excited for him and held him until Aaron Jones eventually got injured, which he usually does at some point.
It does happen.
But for me, Trey Benson is the locked in starter. How much FAAB would you be willing to spend if he's there? I personally would be looking at, if I would be looking at 50% of my leftover FAAB to get a locked in starter.
If I didn't have anyone, I wouldn't begrudge anyone for going and spending 75%.
Yeah.
And that's just purely because, let's just think, thinking from a team perspective that if you're if you're in a position where you're desperate for a running back, you could already be sitting at 1 and 2 or 0 and 3. You need to get points. You need to get a win this week. Don't wait for next week. Don't wait for the next, I'm trying to say FAAB. You need a starter. This is your starter. You're not going to get many opportunities to grab a starting running back off of waivers. And as you said, this guy would have cost you 5 to 10%. But 5%, you could have got him on free agency a week or two ago. Some savvier players would have stashed him. But if he's out there and you need someone, I won't begrudge you from spending 75%. I'd probably be like you, close to that 50 to 60%.
Yeah.
Number 2 on the list, probably from us, and we're both shocked because this guy's I don't think he's on waivers in any of our leagues, but he's rostered in less than 50% of super leagues, or at least across all platforms. So if you see Tyler Algier, the second running back, so RB2 for Atlanta, out there on waivers, he's a high-end handcuff. He's a guy that if you hold him, you can even start him as in a flex if you're tight. If you're really stretched, and particularly when we get into bye weeks, you'll see that's a guy you can start because he will get carries and you can hope he falls into the end zone somehow. Mm-hmm. But if Bijan Robinson goes down, you've got yourself a top 12 tight end. Top 12 running back. You'll have a guy that you can lock into your starting lineup. They like him. He's talented enough. He runs hard. He runs downhill, so to speak.
Yeah.
Get him. If he's on waivers, you have to pick him up. And again, that could be 5 to 10% because you won't have to go out there and it doesn't have the hype like a Benson does.
Yeah.
So,
and the same goes. Look, we could put a lot of these guys into a bucket of that sort of caliber. If Tutankhamun is still there.
Yeah.
Which I highly doubt he is. Go and get him. I think Scatterbo, again, we spoke about, he won't be on your waivers, but if he is, you spend all of your fab on that.
Just go get him.
Go get him.
Go get him.
Other ones I'd keep an eye on, we spoke about Kyram, Chris Rodriguez.
Yep.
You know, he's worth just a sneaky
Just
play.
a sneaky play.
And the other one is Woody Marks because, look, again, we speak about preempting injuries.
Yeah.
We know Chubb is going to miss some games at some point.
Yeah.
We are not excited about the Houston offense, but Woody Marks would just become
He's got more juice.
The running back there. Yeah.
He's got more juice. And speaking about other rookie RBs, like you touched on A-Chain before, Lee Gordon's getting the red zone carries already for Miami. They're taking A-Chain off the field once they hit inside the 20, unless they have a designed receiving play for him. So go and get Ollie Gordon, 5% of your play, and just hope that his role opens up even more. Again, he got a touchdown on the weekend. He could get another one. That's our running backs. Heading into wide receivers.
Look, I spoke about this probably in our group, and I sent a message, and I was being a bit facetious. Trey Tucker, I don't know what it is. Gino just has a guy where he just links well with it. He's always in Gino's spot.
Yeah.
And I don't know because that's Gino's so bad that he only sees certain areas of the field. He certainly doesn't see down the middle.
No.
But Trey Tucker is one that you could easily spend 15 to 20% of your fab on.
Yep.
Dropped 40 points, didn't he? Or close to?
No, he did. He dropped 40 points. He had 8 catches off 9 targets for 145 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, wow.
That's absurd. He had more than half the team's receiving yards.
Yeah, that is. I don't know whether that's a shock against the staff at the Raiders or Brock Bowers is still getting healthy. Gino's really bad. It's probably a mix of all of them.
Yeah.
But go and get Trey Tucker. I think if that keeps going, then
he's always been a big play guy. If you look back even to like week 1, he had 27 yards per catch on 2 catches. So he had 2 catches for 54 yards. But if you go through, like I've had him rostered in a couple leagues in the last year, he had one week where he was ranked as wide receiver 8 against Carolina. And he's had other weeks where he's been a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3. Like he's a guy that it shouldn't be too surprising that, oh, wow. Like it's kind of like one of those guys like, oh, it kind of fits that mold of a guy that could just absolutely go nuts. But I don't think it's going to be like an every week thing where he's going absolutely bananas. But it's something, as you said, it's kind of like worth like dipping your toe in the water and sort of saying, hey, like 40 points is 40 points.
It is. 3 touchdown passes is massive. It's huge.
Unbelievable. It's a 9 targets for me. Like, he just had them. And they're obviously throwing the ball quite a bit. How many times they throw the ball? 29 times? It's not even that many.
All I know is that Gino, he sucks.
He does suck.
He proper sucks.
He does suck. But how much fab would you spend on Trey Tucker?
15% I would go with. 15, 20%. But if again, I wouldn't go over that because it could be, and we're not saying that our mate Kayshon Boutte hasn't worked out, but just temper expectations. Don't think that you're going to get that every week. Because if 100%. they're up, they're going to be running the ball a lot.
Yeah. Speaking about a team that maybe in segues into a team that hasn't been doing so well and probably will find themselves behind and throwing the ball. Looking at Tennessee, Alec Ayamanor. I think we spoke. Yeah. Nailed the name. Spoke about it with Simon last week, and so even Simo was saying like he looks like he's Cam Ward's guy.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, I like the freak because we know him.
Yeah.
So he could be. All I know is Cam hasn't looked great to start the year.
Definitely
he missed. Unfortunately, he's got me chopped just now in that league. So, look, I don't know how many targets Ridley's got, but Cam's just not hitting them. But when he is hitting them, he's hitting our man, the elite. And if he's there on the waivers, like it's worth a punt, especially if you're struggling with some consistency there, maybe getting a few points. I wouldn't be more than 5 to 10%, somewhere between there.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah.
spending over 10.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Because there's options at plenty.
Yeah.
Kind of in that range, isn't there?
Yeah.
Okay, looking at someone that our boy Benny raised a few weeks ago and was a waiver wire favourite last week, but then he had a quiet week this week. Still had a heavy snap share, so I don't know. Are we holding the faith on Troy Franklin from Denver? And if he's out there, are you nabbing?
Again, you just got to hold him. If you've got him, you hold him. If he's out there, try and get him cheap. But you just don't know what's going to happen in this offense. As I said earlier in the show, I don't think that they're firing on all cylinders at the moment, the Broncos. And Sutton is clearly still the guy, and Nick loves to throw to him. They're either going to be pounding the ball, or I think Sutton's going to be the first read. Yeah, hold Franklin, but yeah, again, don't be expecting him to come out and have those kinds of games every week.
And I guess looking at, got a couple more on this list. Green Bay didn't look great on the weekend, obviously. Jaden Reed's obviously out on the weekend. They need a bit of a spark, and looks like some good matchups that are ahead for the Packers. So Romeo Doubs, are we having a crack at him on waivers? If we see Dontavian Wicks out there, are we grabbing Wicks? Who would you prefer?
For me, you try and get one because it's a desperation play.
Yeah.
Ideally, Tucker Kraft is still the person that you want to own, because when I don't know what's wrong with his knee, if he just played because they wanted him out there. But
yeah,
I think there's greater problems at Green Bay in terms of, we know that they just want to run the ball, and they haven't run it as effectively this year as they usually have with Jacobs. But once they start to get that working, then it's kind of, pick someone each week, I think. Whether that be, I don't know if Jaden Reed, how long he's out for.
Yeah. No, I need to check that one again.
Whether it be Dobbs, whether it be Dobbs or Wicks or Kraft or Golden or Reed when he's back.
Someone's going to go off.
Someone has to have a week. Someone has to. And that's probably the beauty of the offense is teams don't know who is going to. They just throw to the open guy, kind of like the Bills. Bills are sort of built that way a little bit as well.
Yeah, Kincaid went off, hey?
Yeah, he had his week this week, and he has been good. Like, to be fair to Kincaid, he has had like 6 targets or so each week. But it's not a bad play, but I wouldn't start Dobbs with great confidence.
Nah, we're not starting.
It could be Wicks, it could be Reed, it could be Kraft, it could be Jacobs, it could be Golden, it could be whoever.
Could be anyone. All right. Well, we spoke about CD being out.
Oh, yes.
Someone having to step up. So we know Pickens slots into that wide receiver 1 spot. We saw Ferguson just get target monster again on the weekend. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, he's out there on waivers. Go and get Ferguson. But do we have any interest in grabbing Jalen Tolbert, who'll be stepping in as a wide receiver 2?
None. I think Tolbert's going to do a job, but I don't have any interest in actively. Yeah, maybe let the waivers pass through, and in deeper leagues, if you're playing like a 14-plus team league, definitely. But in a traditional 12, I would just I think Ferguson's the one that's going to step into that role. Yeah, I think, and then obviously Turpin. I think Turpin can, he'll be getting some plays as well.
Camonte Turpin's that type of guy that's just because of his prowess in receiving, they're probably getting some end arounds and those sorts of things. So that's a great shout from you. Tight end wise, I guess we know that Mike Evans is out. So what's your confidence levels? Kate Otton's out there on waivers. He's out there in a lot of leagues. Do we feel like that's someone that we want to try to go out there and get, knowing we've got Ekbruker, we've got Shepherd, but outside of that, there's not too much else in Tampa Bay?
Not too much else in Tampa Bay, but it's kind of a lottery at the moment with your tight ends and starting who, unless you've got those guys that we told you to get earlier in the year, and that you feel like you've got a pretty good, easy starting tight end. There's guys like Otten who is out there. There's guys like Hunter Henry who's out there who I probably
had a big week.
That's right. I went 1 week early on Hunter Henry. And I got chopped because of it. The weak dog. But But yeah, I think there's a lot of tight ends that are still sitting there. Chiga Conquo, like
Chigo Quanko is the other one. Yeah,
he's another one that's sitting there.
Yeah,
But and if you were lucky enough to pick up Juan Johnson and a Tucker Craft or a whoever it may be, or a Kincaid, like we spoke about that in our rankings.
Yeah,
I don't want to take a lap too early. But
no, I think we wait till before to start taking laps and putting hands up.
I had him I had him in there. And look, we probably don't want to do that because Herbert's slightly lucky he got that touchdown late. I tell you that for free. He was sitting there on 5 points. He was sitting there on 5 points, and he would have slid outside the top 15. He would have slid outside the top 15. But anyway,
we're taking that lap.
We'll take our laps towards the end of the year, but tight end, unless you have got your guy, it's kind of like a lottery each week, unfortunately.
Yeah. I was happy that TJ Hawkinson, even though I benched him a couple of weeks, at least he got some involvement in the game, the game plan this week, and it's good to hear. And this is some other news that we need to keep in mind as well, because KOC's already come out and said Carson Wentz is the starter this week.
Yeah, right.
He's going to get another opportunity.
And the thing to remember is that Addison's coming back as well.
We got Addison, and that's this week, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And I think that whole team is better with Addison there, and everything else. Like, you can't double team West. You can't you can't jump on Hawk. Like,
no,
something has to open up
big time.
So
the running lanes,
that's
opening up as well with Mason. Mason's looking great.
So Addison coming back will be massive for that team.
Big time. Yeah, big time.
If he's on your waivers,
if there's some idiot that's left, if they've left him out there, surely not. Go and get him, and go and get Rashee Rice. If somehow Rashee Rice is sitting there on waivers, please, just don't even, just get him.
There can't be someone who's got Rashee Rice on the way, like dropped him.
There can't be.
Surely
not.
Surely.
Maybe someone's gone, I'm 0-3 and I need someone off waivers. If you see that, you spend all your FAAB. Just go and get him.
If you're a positive record after these 3 games with Rashee Rice in your team, well done.
Yeah.
Because it's looking good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I think I've that's me, and I think it's Snap Out Society Listener League. I'm sitting at 3-0. You beauty.
I know. Yeah.
Creator League, I'm going to 2-1. So
yeah.
Pretty happy with that.
Yeah, no, it's not the same for me in the Listener League. We love our listeners, but they've got a hold of me. The Goat Slayer's got me this week. I've had the highest predicted score each week, and actually I'm 0-3 in the Listener League, but the Creator League was better. Dropped a big score. So if you followed my rankings, unfortunately not doing too well this year. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I think what we might do is we might put out some updated rankings the next week while we've got a little bit of time on our hands. With obviously later in the week, we'll get together again. Hopefully we can have Stevie Boy join us. We do miss having him on the pod, but he's working his ass off and he does send his love to the listeners. But we'll go through what is to come in the week 4 slate. Go ahead, break down the matchups, give you your start sit advice and all the rest of it. But Tommy Boy, have you got any other key pieces of wisdom or you want to impart on the community before we head off?
Not too much, mate. I enjoyed being back. I love seeing all the boys eat. So thank you again for Sim and Benny jumping on.
Yeah.
And just, something that was sitting with me. I thought, we use our platform for a positive reason. It was Are You OK Day the other day. And I wasn't be able to, come on and speak into that. But it's not weak to speak. And make sure you're checking on your mates and checking on how they're doing, and make sure that you're checking on everyone, because it doesn't just happen for one day. It's all year round. So it is important, and we loved a good week 3 in fantasy. Looking for a good week 4, and the Colts are up and about.
It's a great message, and sending out our love. As the Goat said, checking on your mates, and reach out to us if you have any questions or just even want to have a yarn, whether it's about fantasy or life. We're all here for each other. So have a great rest of the week. We'll see you before the week 4 slate, and go Steelers.